It's been all over the news. It's been all over my timeline. So I guess I gotta talk about it. Truthpaste, Lamar Odom, and addiction. Let's get to it. Now, for those of you who think that I'm gonna go in on Lamar Odom and the situation that happened, you might as well stop watching because that's not what I'm gonna do today. Because honestly, who am I to judge another man and his decisions? But at the same time, my father was addicted to alcohol, so I felt the need to kind of talk about that. I think a lot that gets missed as far as understanding someone who's an addict is understanding the mindset of that person. A lot of us pass judgment onto someone who's an addict, like, why can't you have more self-control? Why can't you just stop? And it's not that easy, you guys. Because when it really comes down to it, no one's going to do something that they themselves don't want to do first. So if they don't want help or to clean up, they're not going to. And with that being said, those who try to help an addict that doesn't want help, they usually end up fading away because they're just done putting in the effort. But let's put it into perspective. Every day I'm trying to figure out a way to help you with your addiction, and every moment of every day you're thinking about what you're addicted to. And a lot of the times when those that love the person who is addicted, when they leave, that sometimes pushes the addict over the edge. I can say in, the case of my father, he was drinking heavily before my parents were separated. Once they separated, he started drinking a little bit more. And I only say a little bit more because the alcohol was now being combined with different kinds of drugs. I won't say which kinds, but So what was once just an alcohol addiction is now turned into alcohol and drugs. So now we have a bigger issue on our hands with helping this person. But think about what I just said for a second. Now we have a bigger issue on our hands. It's a very selfish thought. Because here I was, a teenager, frustrated, trying to understand why my dad was an addict and what I could do to help, not understanding what he was going through. This man, as a result of the decisions he made, lost his job, he lost his wife, he was on the verge of losing his children. That would drive anyone to the brink. You add that to the fact that he was already abusing alcohol prior to when all this happened. What do you think was going to happen after he lost it all? So, can you really blame him? Having to go through all that shit, of course you're going to go to some sort of substance to numb the pain. We all do it. It's just that a lot of us, we can take a sip of alcohol, put it down. We can hit the weed and put it down. Some of us can't do that. Started out as a beer, turns into a shot turns into another shot, and before you know it, you're completely fucked up. Now, mind you, I'm not an expert in addiction at all. I'm not claiming to be one. I'm just speaking firsthand at my experience growing up with an addict. Listening to Bomani Jones the other day, and I think he said something about, the problems you had before you had money are going to be around the corner when you do get money. It's not going away. My dad had a great paying job with the city, 4 cars, nice house, jewelry, you name it, but he had demons he was fighting every day. Honestly, wasn't until I noticed he was drinking more that I realized he never really was much of a drinker in years past. But it's gradual. What started out as a beer turned into a beer and a shot of Yukon Jack. Then we scrapped the beer, just went to straight shots after that. And weirdly, in this country, we're all about the functioning addict. Like, if you're an alcoholic, but you can contribute to society, we're kind of like, well, shit, just keep doing what you're doing. The second that person slips up, the masses are like, yo, you're a fucking drunk. You're an alkie. And it's like, well, where were you when it was okay? And sadly, I think that's what's going on with this Lamar Odom thing, man. Everyone wanted to write him off as a crackhead. He almost dies, and now it's like, oh, we need to pray for Lamar. No, we don't need to start praying for Lamar. We should have been praying for Lamar because he's fighting demons every day that a lot of us don't go through on a daily. There's probably a large segment of people who've never seen this nigga play basketball. They only know him from a reality show, and that's sad because as a ball player, he was phenomenal. And yeah, I said phenomenal. Name me another 6'10" player who can knock down the three with a handle not named Kevin Durant. Don't worry, I'll wait. It's just sad, man, that a 2-time NBA champ and 6-man has now been, turned into a reality star fighting for his life. And personally, I hope Lamar Odom pulls through this because I've always been a fan of him as a player. I saw a couple episodes of the reality show. I thought he seemed like a nice guy. But ultimately, I know what addiction can do to you. My father died in February 2011. Shit's real, bro. This doesn't need to be a moment where we hold hands and pray for Lamar. This is a moment where we need to educate ourselves about addiction and how we can help people who are addicted. Because it wasn't like Lamar one day just up and decided to OD on some shit. This has been going on for a long time, people. I guarantee you, Lamar Odom has been hurting for a long, long time, and this might have been his only opportunity to find a way out, unfortunately. All that I ask is you check yourself for a second. Are you supporting Lamar Odom because you really want to, or are you doing it because everybody else is and it's trendy? Let's see if I can catch her on Snapchat. I caught her looking. If she turns, she'll probably be excited. Oh, I got her! I got her! Oh! Sorry about that. I had to do it. But look, if you're going to pray for Lamar, you're going to have to keep praying for him because addiction is something that's every single day. Because when that person you love loses that battle to addiction and they're no longer here, there's no coming back from that. Rest in peace, Dad. Brush up.